Before we start this video, you guys, I just want to say to those who have watched my best of 2025 movies, part 1 and part 2, I would just want to say thank you so much. It really means a lot. If you haven't, I will leave a link in the description below. Go check them out. I hope you enjoyed that list because now we are going to get into the movies that I saw this year that makes me worry about the state of the film industry as a whole. It makes me question or makes me look at this industry and say, why did you release this? Why did you thought that this was a good idea? Because watching these, they sure didn't give me any hope. Because now we are going to go over the worst of 2025 movies. Now, these are the movies that I saw this year, and unfortunately, I couldn't get to 10, which sucks, but I still got a list here for you all to hopefully enjoy. But before we do that, I'm going to give you guys now my honorable, or rather in this case, dishonorable mentions. Now, these are movies that I saw this year that I thought were kind of average and mediocre at best. They aren't necessarily the worst movies ever made. They're just simply fine. They're middle of the road. They're not movies that I absolutely hate, but I could say could have been so much better. And they are in no particular order other than just the order in which I saw these movies throughout this year. But otherwise, one is not better than the other. They're just kind of all within the same rank as each other. And these are movies that I gave 5 out of 10 for, to me, which is average. So for dishonorable mentions, we have Den of Thieves 2, Pantera, Captain America, Brave New World, The Amateur, and The Running Man 2025. I would say congratulations, but just like a parent to their child, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. That's the best way I could describe it. But I'll tell you this, you dodged a bullet. You didn't make me mad or pissed off or frustrated with what you gave me, or at the very least make me bored. So I'll give you that. You slipped on by, but I have to give you some mentions because, man, a lot of these movies could have been so much better, but oh well. Here are now the worst of 2025 movies. Number 8. Robert De Niro. Gangster movies. Those usually go together pretty well. I don't know what you guys would say. I could say it's like pizza or a peanut butter jelly sandwich, where it's like it's easy to make because at the very least you have an actor who is so well versed in that genre that it could work so easily. And it may not be the best thing, depends on the quality, but otherwise you can get something really, really good out of it. But in the case of The Ultimates, you can't. You want to talk about a movie that just follows every formula of this genre to a T. This movie does that. While it does have a great dual performance from Robert De Niro and some of the cast is fine, it looks gorgeous with its production quality, the music is of its era, and yes, the cinematography can look stellar, but otherwise, this movie just follows everything that every gangster movie does to a T. There's nothing original nor different that other gangster movies have covered. If I wanted to watch a gangster movie, I could rather watch Goodfellas, Casino, movies that De Niro has appeared in as a gangster. I'm sure was done better. The Irishman, I could even say. Because to me, Barry Levinson, it's almost like he was trying to be like Martin Scorsese, like his little brother or like an imitator trying to be like him. And every time he does that, it's almost like a pale imitation of how Martin Scorsese would handle this. And yeah, even with an A-list actor like De Niro, in a genre that he is well versed in and can really do well in, he couldn't even save this movie. That's how much this movie just could not save itself. Even with an actor like him, who is really good in this genre, still can't do it. Number 7. I get it. Franchises, IPs, I understand people are sick of them, or people are just getting tired of how these series have gone on long enough, or because there have been bad outings, that tends to give them the idea that, yeah, franchises should just end where they're at a certain point. And while I can understand that, yes, from people who love these said franchises and see studios just ruining and just milking everything that these IPs are, I can see ways in which you could still continue them, even if, yes, the track record has not been great. But in the case of Karate Kid Legends, man, I don't know where this franchise can go. They've already milked up everything from Cobra Kai. What can you do with this? Seriously, what can you? I know what you can do, as Sony would say. How about we just take the first movie and just combine it with the remake? Like, take those two movies, put them together, put them in the microwave, and there you go. You have something that can be an easy, digestible movie for you all. And if you ask me, it's not good enough. As much as Ben Wan is really good as the central character in this film, and yeah, some of the hand-to-hand combat fights are well done. Really, this just screams to me of a franchise that I just think needs to just take a moment to stop itself, or to just stop in general, because when you can't even have your two main actors, which Sony was promoting the fuck out of, Jackie Chan, Ralph Macchio, okay, throughout the marketing, they kept on promoting them like they were in this movie completely. And let me tell you, that's a lie, because they are hardly in this movie, and when they do, they are barely given enough to work with. Because overall, it just seems to me like the Karate Kid franchise, I just don't know what else is left in this. Because if this movie has taught me anything, it's that I just think they need to stop. Honestly, what else can you do? Seriously, we're at a point now where there's really barely anything left for them to even come up with. But I mean, if it's Sony, they'll find a way to milk it. I mean, they do that with Spider-Man, so that's just Sony going to be Sony. Number 6. I was rooting for this movie. I seriously was. As much as I had not seen the other previous work that this man has done, which won him an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor, and I plan to do so, I was still rooting for him because it has been such a long time since he appeared on people's screens by this point, and even though he is still continuing to gain work, this was his chance to be a leading man, and unfortunately, Love Hurts just did exactly that. It really hurted me to see Hugh Kwan, a talented, funny, but also humble guy to see on screen, to be given a chance to lead his own movie. And what he is saddled with is probably the most cookie cutter action movie that you could possibly think of. And while he tries, and I guess I could say Ariana DeBose also tries, it's not enough. And the fact that this movie so drills in the Valentine's Day stuff in this movie so much, it makes you honestly think they really had nothing going with this film. They had nothing other than just the concept, and the concept only, because otherwise this movie is just a jumbled mess of an action flick that you've seen time and time again and done better. And as much as I still am holding out hope for Q Kwan continues to get work and still find success, it's movies like these that kind of hurt their chances of ever trying to lead a movie. And to me, that's always the thing that sucks the most, because I was rooting for him. I really was, and I still am rooting for him. But man, this movie really did took all the love out of me and just left me bloodied up and just heartbroken. Number 5. And even though Ki-Hu Kwan just starred in the last movie I just mentioned, he also had to star in this movie, although he was not the main focus. It was two other actors, but still, he was a part of it. And man, it hurts me to say this, especially from a directing brother duo that I so respected because they had done so well in the MCU. But man, the Electric State, what the hell is this? Like, how is it that you pissed $300 million down the drain for this? It is baffling to me. Yes, visually, it looks dazzling. It looks stunning. And while I don't think that Millie Bobby Brown and Chris Pratt were, like, in my eyes, terrible, I'm also not gonna lie, they didn't really do much other than just, keep me mildly entertained. But otherwise, I found this movie to just be so hollow and so boring. I didn't give a shit of what the story was. And it makes me look at the Russo brothers and just think, can these guys only do comic book movies? Because it seems to me like if they go outside of that range and try to do something for themselves, it can't work. If it is within Marvel range, they can do it. So it makes me question, are they only good for directing superhero movies? Because it seems to me with a movie like this, they cannot manage anything, and man, the product placement in this movie is just insanely gross. I hate movies like this where they just emphasize the products that they have in this movie and commercialize the fuck out of it, and yet the movie that you get itself is just such a husk of what that concept could have been. And instead, you just are left wondering, what is this, man? This just feels like more added content for Netflix to just have because, well, they're Netflix. They need content. So, hey, the Russo brothers, you worked with Netflix for The Gray Man. So, hey, at least maybe you can get some more work with this. We are now 4-3 with this brother duo. So, hopefully Doomsday can revitalize that. But even then, I'm questioning if they should even go outside of that range. Number 4. I know people say they don't like sequels or they hate when movies that are sequels to beloved like cult classics or at least funny movies come out way too late in their lifetime. And while I saw potential in the beginning, I'm not saying it was perfect. I saw potential in the beginning. By the end, I thought to myself that Happy Gilmore 2 was just such a terrible way of what Adam Sandler usually does. And the thing that I usually don't like about him is how you've been seeing him for the past 20 to maybe now 25 years, which is now that he is big, he has to make everything much more exaggerated. He has to make everything much more zanier and wackier. Like, Happy is no longer the zaniest character in this movie or craziest. Everyone else is just so goddamn insane that it just makes you really annoyed. And that is the appeal about Happy Gilmore, or rather Adam Sandler. In the beginning, he was a guy that, yes, he was the center of focus. Sure, there may be quirkier characters, but he was always the one that was the most outlandish, the most crazy, the most batshit insane person. But watching Happy Gilmore 2, it just makes you think to yourself, he cannot let go of that mentality of trying to make everything be at his level or above him. Yeah, to me, it's like there was potential in the beginning, but as the movie kept on going, it just had to ruin itself because Adam Sandler gotta be Adam Sandler. And listen, I find the Sandman to be kind of funny at times, but then there were times where I'm like, man, this is way, way, way too overboard or way too childish. And to me, you just ruined something that I think could have been at least enjoyable. I guess nice shot. Number 3. This movie was hated on the moment it was announced. The moment they announced who was going to be playing Snow White and how this movie was going to be handled, and it was already a PR nightmare, and I did not want to add fuel to the fire. As much as I am trying to be as respectful as I can be, I have to come to terms with it. Snow White gives me the reason why these live action Disney movies need to stop. Okay? I understand Lilo and Stitch has already now blown up the money for what this movie used, but man, it makes you think to yourself, this is how bad these live action movies can get. Yes, Rachel Zegler, she is probably the only good thing in this movie, if you ask me. I know that's going to be like the biggest thing for them to leech onto and just hate, but I mean, come on, you guys. I'm trying to be as respectful as I can be, but there's just something about this film that just makes you just think to yourself, like, Disney, what are you doing? Seriously, like, why do you just continue to go down this path of live action movies? I get that it makes money, but like watching how badly this movie tanked, do you honestly think that you can do more? And apparently to them, yeah, because I mean, we're getting Moana, and now recently they just announced for Tangled casting, so yeah, they're still willing to go down this route. But if you ask me, I think they should just stop, save yourself the time and trouble and money in not doing this. But okay, I guess still pissing away as much money as you can is just worth it. And yeah, poor Mark Webb, I mean, the man couldn't even have his own way of how he wants to do Snow White, other than just being, something for Disney to just say, hey, do this, and we'll make sure you get money for it. And hey, the man's just trying to do a job, and that's what he got paid for. But I mean, come on, seriously, Disney, just stop. I think all of us are begging you to just stop with these remakes, honestly. Number 2. So far, this was going to be considered my worst of movie of the year, but another movie had to slip on by and be number 1, so this will have to be number 2, because wow, I found a Minecraft movie to be so boring. Think about it. Outside of the memes, honest to God, is this really a good movie? Because I get it, I understand. The internet loves memes. They love to meme on things. But it comes at a certain point, even when we're laughing at the jokes of how badly this is, let's actually dissect it and just say to ourselves, is this really a good representation of what Minecraft is? Because I'm going to tell you, I'm sure fans would say no easily. But even I would have to admit, this movie just is not really that fun. I just found myself so bored. I'm not even thinking of it as more of like the idea of, is this a great Minecraft movie? I'm just thinking of it, is it a fun kids movie? And honestly, no. Like, yeah, I would say there's some great things to have with its production in terms of like when they actually built like some of the props or settings for the characters to walk around. And if you ask me, the visual effects, when they're not having like the human characters, I think can work, but otherwise, yeah, this is a movie that screams to me why it makes me scared knowing that movies like these can be profitable, because looking at this film, I'm like, I don't get it. All right, I really don't. And honestly, this is a movie that doesn't make me want to even go want to play Minecraft. Okay, I know I wasn't in the beginning, but man, you just made me be like, all right, I don't want to ever touch Minecraft. I'll watch it because I think it's fun seeing people be creative and exploring things, but on a playable level, I don't want to because a movie like this just didn't give me a reason to actually really want to play it. I mean, seriously. I guess all it takes is for people my age or younger to just say chicken jockey and lose their goddamn minds to make this the highest grossing movie of the year. If that's where we're at with movies nowadays, that's a little sad if you ask me. Number one. So I had my list ready to go beginning of December because I didn't see any other bad movies coming my way, or I thought I would never get a really awful movie. But oh, lo and behold, Amazon decided to be like, hey, here's a Christmas gift to you. I hope you enjoy it and love it. And I said, thank you. And what I opened instead was, oh, what fun. And I had to immediately afterwards say, fuck you to Amazon. Wow, what a movie. I know people are already saying, like, War of the Worlds is number one. And I have not seen it. I know people would be shocked by that. But I hope to watch that with friends and laugh at that movie, but for now is definitely this movie because talk about a film that just so screams Amazon content for the sake of just making content. Because this movie was so frustrating, so annoying, and I was so baffled that so many of the actors, minus the key actors, and maybe Dominic Sessa, because I mean, of course, he is still young, he's still relatively new, so I'm gonna give him a pass. But everyone in this movie, Michelle Pfeiffer, Felicity Jones, Chloe Grace Moretz, Dennis Leary, Jason Schwartzman. What the hell did you think you were getting into? I know you want to do a Christmas movie, but did you honestly look at this script and say to yourself, this would be a lot of fun? No, because let me tell you, watching this movie was so goddamn painful. I was just baffled that I actually was looking forward to this film simply because of the casting. And it's just funny to me that even when you think you're gonna get something great, movies like these decide to say, well, you know what? I know you wanted something great and fun, but what if we just, make it much more personal and just hurt you? And yeah, throughout this movie, it was painful to get through. And to me, this is absolutely, without a doubt, the worst 2025 movie I have seen by far. This is the one. I know people will say there are ones that are worse than this, but to me, this has got to take the cake. So that is it. We are done. It is over. I understand so many people may disagree with my list, so I want to hear from you. Do you have a worst of movie of 2025? Let me know down in the comments below, because now, after this video, we are moving on to 2026 with new releases. So yes, look forward to that review and other reviews coming soon.